The dawn of the third day brought new challenges to the battlefield of the Mahabharata. As the first ray of the sun touched the earth, the warriors' swords were once again stained with blood. On this day, you will see Bhishma Pitama fighting with full energy. The Pandavas are ready to face the amazing strategies presented by the Kauravas, under the leadership of Arjuna and Bhima, eager to challenge the Kaurava army. This war is not only a test of strength, but also of strategy and skill. You will see how the Pandava warriors use formations to counter the Kauravas' moves. The most thrilling moment of the day will come when Arjuna and Bhishma face each other. Both are eager for their respective sides' victory, so be prepared. For the third day of the Mahabharata War, where each moment is new and intense, it is not just a war, but an epic struggle of the bravest and most skilled warriors in history, which will leave you breathless. Stay with us and witness this self-spun tale. Let's learn about some other warriors who played a crucial role on the third day of the Mahabharata War. Satyaki's role in the Mahabharata War was extremely important. This brave warrior of the Yadava clan left his mark on the battlefield with his unique war skills and bravery. Satyaki, who was also a friend and companion of Lord Krishna, fought on the side of the Pandavas. Especially when Arjun went to kill Jayadrath, Satyaki protected Yudhishthir. He faced and defeated many great warriors. His bravery and determination saved the Pandavas from many crises and played a significant role in the war. Satyaki's saga is inscribed as a shining example in the stories of the Mahabharata, inspiring us with courage and loyalty. He is one of the unique characters of the Mahabharata, Ghatotkacha, the son of Bhima and Hidimba, whose gigantic stature and immense powers became a bane for his opponents on the battlefield. Ghatotkacha was endowed with magical powers and used these extraordinary abilities many times in the Mahabharata War. His exceptional skills and fearless valor rescued the Pandavas from numerous crises. His courage and spirit of sacrifice on the battlefield of Kurukshetra continue to inspire us today. On the third day of the Mahabharata War, the Kauravas formed a massive Garuda formation. This formation was designed in the shape of a powerful Garuda bird, with the arrangement of soldiers and chariots resembling the wings and body of the Garuda. Its purpose was to encircle and attack the opponents on the battlefield. Bhishma is at the structure's beak. Drona, Kritavarman, Ashwathama, and Kripa, supported by various regional allies, are positioned at critical spots like the eyes and head. The neck hosts warriors like Bhurishrava, Shalya, and Jayadrath with their respective armies. Duryodhan is at the rear, surrounded by his followers, while the tail includes warriors from Avanti, Cambodia, and other regions. The flanks are made up of various tribes and regional forces, ready for the impending conflict. On the third day of the Mahabharata War, the Pandavas showcased their military acumen and strategy by forming a semicircular formation. In this formation, soldiers were arranged in a crescent shape, capable of encircling and attacking the enemy. Bhimsen, along with various allied kings, took the front on the right side of the formation. Virat, Drupad, Neel, and Drishtaketu, among other key warriors, fortified this section. In the center, Drisht, Udyam, Shikhandi, and Yudhishthir, along with various soldiers from Panchal and Prabhadrak, took command. On the left side are important warriors like Satyaki, Draupadi's sons, and Ghatotkacha. Lord Krishna supports the formation, securing their stance and preparing the Pandavas for a fierce confrontation against their opponents. Now let's learn about some key events on the third day of the Mahabharata War that played a significant role in the battle. On the third day of the Mahabharata War, Arjuna, known as Dhananjay, wreaked havoc on the enemy's chariot divisions. He caused massive destruction. He brought down the enemy leaders with his arrows. The Kaurava army, led by the sons of the nation, fought the Pandavas with a desire to defy death and showcase their bravery. They broke the Pandavas' formations at several places. During this phase of the war, a dust storm covered the sun, and no one could discern directions. Warriors were determining directions by their flags, slogans, names, and tribal identities. Amidst this chaos, the Kauravas' formation remained intact under Dronacharya's protection. The Pandavas' formation stayed intact, protected by Arjuna and Bhima. On the battlefield, charioteers, elephants, cavalry, and foot soldiers clashed with each other, defeating one another with various weapons. and the ground was littered with the remnants of the fight. Broken weapons, crushed standards, and the bodies of men and animals made the earth almost impassable. The blood-soaked dust settled, and the scene resembled an apocalyptic end of the world. Amidst this carnage, Bhishma, Drona, Jayadrath, and other proud heroes pushed back the Pandava army. In response, Bhima, Ghatotkacha, Satyaki, and Draupadi's sons, supported by their allies, launched a fierce counterattack, crushing their enemies as if gods were fighting demons. After this, Duryodhana launched a fierce attack on the Pandavas, but the Pandavas faced it with equal ferocity. In anger, Arjuna fought with the proud kings while Abhimanyu and Satyaki confronted Shakuni's army. As the battle intensified, the proud kings surrounded Arjuna and showered his chariot with arrows and sharp spears. Arjuna countered with his divine weapons with remarkable success. Warriors from both sides, defeating each other, shone like planets in the sky. Thus, the battle continued with no clear victory for anyone. On the third day of the Mahabharata War, when the land of Kurukshetra echoed with the warriors' rage, Abhimanyu and Satyaki faced the Gandharan army. These two great warriors who had already won many battles with their valor and bravery. In front of them was the vast army of Gandhara, led by Subala's son. In this fierce battle, Gandhara's army surrounded Abhimanyu and Satyaki's chariots with various weapons. They were able to thwart the enemy's attacks with their strategy and combat skills. At that stage of the battle, Satyaki's chariot was damaged, and he mounted Abhimanyu's chariot. Together, the two heroes launched a fierce attack on Gandhara's army. Their sharp and direct arrows scattered the enemy's forces. Their unity and war strategy made them victorious in this tough battle. Here is an interesting story from the third day of the Mahabharata War, when Bhima and Ghatotkacha amazed everyone with their bravery. As they were defeating their enemies in battle, Duryodhana came to try and stop them. Ghatotkacha then displayed his extraordinary power, even surpassing his father Bhima. In anger, Bhima wounded Duryodhana with a mace, causing him to faint, and his charioteer had to take him away from the field. This caused Duryodhana's army to panic and start fleeing. Meanwhile, Yudhishthira and Drishtadyumna rained arrows on Drona and Bhishma's armies, driving them back. Bhima and Ghatotkacha also left no stone unturned, continuing to chase and defeat the enemy forces. Finally, when Subala's son's army was defeated in battle, Arjuna unleashed a fierce barrage of arrows on the Kaurava army, expressing his emotions. The rain of his arrows terrified the enemy forces, causing them to flee in fear. The third day of the war was filled with stories of the bravery of Bhima, Ghatotkacha, and Arjuna. As the Kaurava army began to retreat in chaos, Bhishma and Drona, concerned and angry for Duryodhana's well-being, tried to rally the soldiers. Duryodhana himself stepped forward to boost his army's morale, halting their retreat. Seeing their king's efforts, the great Kshatriya warriors also stopped fleeing and returned to their positions. Inspired by their leader's encouragement, even the ordinary soldiers stopped. Seeing his army reorganized, surging like waves under the moonlight, Duryodhana approached Bhishma to express his frustration. He asked why, with powerful warriors like Bhishma, Drona, and Kripa on their side, his army was fleeing. He accused Bhishma of favoritism towards the Pandavas, saying Bhishma had already hinted at hesitating to fight them. Bhishma, smiling and raising his eyes in anger, replied, "O king, I have told you many times words that are in your best interest. The Pandavas cannot be defeated in battle even by the gods. However, whatever my old age allows me to do, I will do in this war. Today I alone will destroy the Pandavas and their army." Encouraged by Bhishma's words, Duryodhana blew his conch. The Pandavas also heard that sound and blew their conches, setting the stage for battle. As the day progressed and the Pandavas gained the upper hand, Bhishma launched a fierce attack on the Pandava army with a large, glorious force. The ensuing battle was terrifying. The harsh twang of bows and the sound of falling armor evoked memories of legendary wars. The battlefield looked like a gruesome river of blood, disordered with fallen men and elephants, filthy with flesh and limbs. Despite the debris and obstacles, the glorious leaders Bhishma and Drona were inspired by a firm resolve to protect Duryodhana's interests. Especially Bhishma displayed extraordinary prowess. Moving with such agility and speed on the battlefield, he seemed to be present in multiple places at once, bewildering the Pandavas. His numerous infallible divine weapons precisely destroyed the Pandava army, which could barely withstand his assault. Bhishma's relentless attack seemed almost supernatural as he struck opponents with precision. His arrows affected humans and animals alike, wreaking havoc among the Pandavas. Bhishma's power was such that even the Pandavas' giants struggled to face him. As Bhishma cut through the Pandavas' formation, their army faltered, broke, and scattered in fear. The battlefield was a testament to his dominance, strewn with the debris of war, broken armor, fallen standards, and the cries of the defeated. As Bhishma's assault continued, the Pandava army's morale plummeted. They sank into confusion and despair. The scene was utterly chaotic, as the disciplined Pandava army disintegrated under the pressure of Bhishma's relentless attacks. In this epic depiction of war, Bhishma emerged as a formidable figure. His actions elevated him to near-divine status in terms of military skill. His impact was devastating, scattering the Pandava army and signaling a pivotal moment in the great war of Mahabharata. In this thrilling scene of the Mahabharata, Lord Krishna, who is Arjuna's charioteer, observes the battlefield's outcome. He tells Arjuna to fulfill his earlier vow, in which he pledged to defeat the mighty warriors of the Kuru dynasty, Bhishma and Drona. Krishna reminds Arjuna of how he said he would defeat all opposing warriors in battle and urges him to make this vow a reality as their own army is in grave danger. Inspired by Krishna's words, Arjuna tells him to drive their chariot through the enemy forces towards Bhishma. As they approach Bhishma, the great warrior unleashes a barrage of sharp arrows, obscuring Arjuna's chariot in a dense rain of arrows. Despite this attack, Lord Krishna continues to skillfully maneuver their chariot with his usual skill and courage. In response, Arjun lifts his powerful bow and precisely cuts Bhishma's bow. After his bow is cut, Bhishma immediately picks up another bow and strings it again. But Arjun, fueled by anger, cuts this new bow as well. Bhishma praises Arjun's combat skills, calling him an excellent warrior. In the heat of battle, Lord Krishna swiftly maneuvers the chariot to dodge Bhishma's arrows. Bhishma, with great force, wounds Arjun with sharp arrows. Thus, the fierce battle between Arjun and Bhishma continues. Seeing Bhishma's prowess in battle, Lord Krishna observed that Bhishma was showering arrows like the omnipresent sun, causing havoc in Yudhishthira's army, as if the hour of doom had arrived. Disturbed by this sight, Krishna thought that Yudhishthira's army could not withstand this assault. As Krishna was contemplating, Bhishma launched another arrow, filling all directions with arrows. The sun, sky, and earth disappeared behind a curtain of arrows. On Bhishma's command, Drona, Vikarna, Jayadratha, and other warriors quickly took the field against Arjun. Satyaki, a renowned warrior, saw Arjun surrounded and attacked to assist him, reminiscent of Vishnu aiding Indra. In the chaos, Lord Krishna leaped from his chariot. He rushed towards Bhishma with his blazing discus like the sun. As Krishna advanced, his yellow garments and radiant discus resembled a fierce comet, signaling the destruction of the Kauravas. Seeing the armed and angry Lord Krishna, the world began to lament in despair, fearing the end of the Kuru dynasty. Arjun ran after Lord Krishna and caught him to stop him from advancing. In anger, Krishna pulled Arjun as a storm pulls a tree. But Arjun managed to stop him at the 10th step. Calmed by Arjun's vow, Lord Krishna climbed back onto his chariot and raised his conch. Its sound echoed through the air, rallying the Pandava army. The master warriors responded with their own noise of drums and clashing weapons. Arjun released terrifying arrows with his mighty bow Gandiva, causing a fierce rain of arrows. This halted Bhishma's advance, his arrows flying everywhere, cutting enemy flags and filling the field with destruction. The twang of Arjun's bow drowned out all other sounds on the battlefield. The battlefield became terrifying. Blood flowed from the dead. This scene echoed the horror of a mythical apocalypse. Seeing their leaders falter under Arjun's assault, the Kauravas were shaken. The dreadful sound of Gandiva broke their morale. A victory cry rose from the Pandavas, further lowering the Kauravas' morale. As evening fell and the battlefield quieted, both sides withdrew. Both the Kauravas and Pandavas suffered heavy losses, but in the end, the Pandavas had the upper hand. On the third day of the Mahabharata War, the Pandavas unexpectedly gained an advantage over the Kauravas. At the start of the day, the Kaurava army put heavy pressure on the Pandavas, but as the day progressed, the Pandava warriors made a comeback with their cleverness and bravery. Arjuna's unmatched archery and Bhima's prowess pushed the Kaurava army back on many fronts. Additionally, Lord Krishna's strategic advice helped the Pandavas overcome difficult situations multiple times. Young warriors like Ghatotkacha and Abhimanyu also challenged the Kauravas' key warriors, causing unexpected losses to the Kaurava army. By the end of the day, the Pandavas not only withstood the Kauravas' initial attacks, but also defeated many key warriors of the Kaurava army in battle. This day's battle gave the Pandavas a significant strategic advantage and deeply impacted the morale of the Kaurava army. The day ended in favor of the Pandavas, giving them new hope and courage for the coming days. Thank you for enjoying the tale of the third day of the Mahabharata War. In the next episode, we will witness the battle of the fourth day. To find out if the Pandavas can maintain their lead, don't forget to subscribe to our channel Indo Saga and stay tuned. Stay with us. See you in the next episode. Goodbye.